Hi everybody, it's Friday the 20th of January 2017, a day in history. Today will mark the inauguration of Donald Trump in the United States as the 45th President of the United States. And of course, the markets have factored a lot of this in already, so we don't know what we're going to see today. But there has actually been some good movements in the FOREX markets, and also we've had quite a good trade today on the British pound. Now, before we start, as always, I want to read to you the disclaimer because we're a registered company. Trading stocks, options on stocks, futures, options on futures, and retail off-exchange foreign currency transactions, FOREX, involves substantial risk of loss and it's not suitable for all investors. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by historical tests of strategies, is no guarantee of future performance or success. There is a possibility that you may sustain a loss equal to or greater than your entire investment, regardless of which asset class you trade, equities, options, futures or forex. Therefore, you should not invest or risk money that you cannot afford to lose. Trade Guide Limited is an authorized representative of Forex Max Limited and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority in the United Kingdom, number 229906. With that said, the first thing I want to show you is from an email that came from a fund manager who's been using Smart Center Pro. And he said, Gavin, I've been finding certain indicators that alert me to a change of trend in the market. Do you trade these? And of course the answer is yes. And one of those indicators is one that actually is set to email me an alert when that indicator appears. Now the indicator itself, you'll recognize it, of course, is a reversal. Now you should be able to see shortly on your screen here, and just let me know when you can. Let me just move that up slightly because we've got an upthrust coming here. But you should all be able to see here a reversal bar. Can everyone see that? I just want to make sure you can all see this. This is a counter trend indicator, but works probably 88% of the time when we're looking at this. Can everyone see it before I discuss this? And I entered
sign
this.
of strength has arrived.
Okay, we got another sign of strength in the NASDAQ. So let me just have a quick look there. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so the NASDAQ at the moment is bouncing all over the place, so we'll see what happens with that. It's come all the way down to 56,250, and that's also got a reversal. Interesting. Okay, well, the market's going to open here in a few minutes, so we'll see what happens. But let's just talk about the what we're going to see happening here. Now, at the moment, you can see there was weakness at the top of the market. Very clear. There's a supply coming in, level bar. They come back up into that area. Weakness appears, next bar closes lower, slams down. Look at the volume on the down bar here. Okay, look at where we close. The next bar opens level, and I've got the open on this MT4 platform to show you. Opens level, but responds almost 50% of the bar. That is known as a bottom reversal and is a very good place for a long trade, even against the trend. Okay, it's a very good place to take a trade. And the reason is very simple. What they're doing here is marking the price down. Now, it's a counter trend trade, so you don't want to be in it long, because you can see what they do. If there's weakness in the background, they'll mark it up and then straight back down again. Very often this is what happens with a reversal bar. So these are very much scalp type trades. They're not there for you to be in for a long time. And what happens is I get an email telling me when that appears from Smart Center Pro in any time frame. This happened to appear, as you can see, on the 5-minute time frame, sorry, the 15-minute time frame. So this happened just over 45 minutes ago. And you can see it immediately, as we closed, pushed higher, went up to this old level, and now, of course, pushing straight back down, which is why you don't want to leave your stop in a situation where you're going to get stopped out. You want to get the stop to break even and profit as quickly as possible with these type of setups. And once you do, once you see that, what we do is we look at Smart Center Pro and we start to look for, is there any other indications here of that type of principle appearing? Now, if we look here at the instrument, the CAD JPY here, and if we come down to the euro, I'm just looking at this as well. You see here we've got the weekly, the 4-hour, okay, that's got filled. We've got the 4-hour, we've got the 5-minute, the 1 minute. See, on the euro JPY, the Japanese yen at the moment is actually a very interesting instrument to watch because it's very geared, of course, to the US dollar. And what we're seeing at the moment is quite a lot of whipsawing that's going on in the markets, and that's not surprising based on what we're currently seeing in these charts. Because what happens when the market is expecting some news, which of course it is today, we start to see that whipsawing happening. Now let's go back to see, as we come into the open of the session, what's going to happen here. Okay, Grigory's just confirmed he's long on the euro and the yen. Okay. Okay, so Grigory's long on that euro. Danny, by the way, if you want to do a quick sound check, just jump in when you're ready, if you're around. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's go back and have a look at some of these instruments as we move forward. Now, the first thing we're going to do, as always, we're looking at the moment here at some weakness in the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ's interesting because if we go to the 4-hour chart, we've definitely made new highs, but we can see up here, we've got a lot of volume on this bar here. That volume was immediately tested. We went up on no demand. We came lower, and at the moment, we're stuck. All right, we're stuck in no man's land. Look at the spread of these bars, very narrow range. This could blow off to the downside very quickly, or even we could have a surge up for an end of a rising market. Don't know yet. But what I can say on the 60-minute chart is this is what I've seen. I would not want to be long against this. There's a lot of supply present here. In fact, it's equating to the buying that came in down here. Now we've got a lot of supply present on the 60-minute chart. And we've come up an hour ago and up thrusted into this area. Hence the reason I'm not trying to go long here. I'm looking for the breakdown to the short side. Now I've been using these smaller time frames to work this one out, and you can see why I'm looking for shorts. There's the supply coming in, the highest volume, okay, which we can see came in yesterday morning. The market's come back up to that area. It's rejected price once. It's up thrusted here. It's come down for the last half an hour. So we've had lower closes, as you can see. That's a climactic bar, but it's not yet broken down to these lows. That's where I'm looking to get to, around the 560, 558 level. If it breaks that, then we'll have a big running move down to the downside as the market opens. Again, with this type of trade, this is one which is not with trend, because the trend is up. But you always got to be aware where there's supply present. Unless that's absorption, this should fall. If it's not and we break out, crikey, we could have a big run to the upside, but I can't see it at the moment. And the 5-minute chart starts to get more obvious. There's the supply. Here we get a trap up move. We mark it up. We've got supply present. So there's a lot of selling coming in here. Let's wait and see what they do with this. They're going to obviously whipsaw it at the open here, which is exactly what you'd expect them to do. And now the volume's coming in now. Let's see what they start to do with this market. And they're going to try and obviously mark this up to this area here. And let's have a look at the pound as well. Okay, now that's moving up. Aussie dollar doing the same. NASDAQ pushing up. So here comes your breakout. Now, if this is a false breakout, we'll see an up thrust. Okay, now here comes this is going to be interesting now to see what this is a 5-minute chart here. I'm just going to watch this closely and see if any alerts come in on the Forex on the other screen. I'm just looking at my other screen because I've got Forex in MT4 running on the other screen. So they've marked it up. Okay, so let's have a look at the daily chart. So we're making a fresh high. We're taking out yesterday's high and the close at the open. So they're marking this up aggressively, but you've got to ask yourself the question, as they're marking this up, is there an intent then to sell the hell out of it? So we'll watch it. And the chart I'm going to use as my guide is going to be this 5-minute time frame. Right, so what we've got a close up near the high, definitely got some supplies, a lot of volume on the bar, but we don't do anything right now. What we're going to do is bring up Smart Center Pro, and we're going to see what it's telling us. Right, it gave us a signal to go long on the NASDAQ here, and there's the black box on the 5-minute chart. All right, there is the black box. It appeared just before the big move up, all right, which in that black box simply means there is the balance of supply and demand has become equal. It has to break out. It has to break out, which is what it's actually now done. We can see the weekly, the 8-hour and the 4-hour is up. We notice that everything else has gone grey, right? That means it's all now in quite a congested area. We can see here, whipsawing at the open. Here the same. You've got this level to the left here where the high volume is. They've marked it up through it. This looks bullish. Doesn't look bearish, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to break down. They're marking this up. They're marking this up aggressively. We could even see a fresh high made here into the NASDAQ. I'll have a look at the S&P quickly. Doing much the same thing, I'm sure. Not quite into fresh high ground yet, but again, doing the same thing, pushing up. All doing the same thing. Dow Jones as well, just looking at the Dow. Massive markups. So this is a good sign for today. Now we've got some volume coming in, which is of course what we want to see. I'm just checking the questions, just bear with me. Okay, yeah, we'll have a quick look at gold in a second because I know Steve will probably look at that. Yeah, it's come off, hasn't it, quite a lot. So it's down to that 1200 level. There is quite a lot of weakness in gold at the moment, and the reason for that, obviously, is the markup that we've just seen in the S&P. So actually, gold looks weak, not strong at the moment. Okay, so gold looks potentially like a short trade here coming. And let's just put Smart Center Pro on. Yeah, you can see here at the moment we've got, it's starting to turn negative on the 1-minute time frame, just here. These are still green, but everything's red on the bigger time frames. And actually what we've got on the 60-minute chart is an up thrust. Now that is a good sign with supply coming in for lower prices. So again, this could be a potential short. Looking at the 60-minute chart, you can see where they've marked it up. So this looks promising. I well may take a trade here, only because we're seeing, and let's go to the small time frame here, it's starting to roll. They're testing this level right now that we're at. You can see where the high volume came in. So that if this test fails, we'll see lower prices in gold very, very quickly. If this fails, that's the big key to it. It's got to fail. So I'm going to put an order in right below the test bar here to try and catch this. We're in a negative situation on the 1-minute chart. There's no doubt about it. We've got weakness in the background. We've had a widespread down bar. We've taken out the support line. So we'll just watch this and see what happens here on gold. And if they're marking up the ES and the NASDAQ, which they are, you'd expect gold to push a bit lower first, maybe round to the round number, around this 1200 where the buying came in. You can see it down here, and you can see the breakout. And my trade that I had earlier was on the British pound, by the way. I'll just show you that. I've already closed the position. So this was the British pound trade. I'll talk you through it earlier. There may well be another one. That was my first trade of the day this morning. And that is a very good possibility here that there'll be another trade coming in the pound. I had actually short the pound, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'll show you that trade setup in a second. But I'm more interested in this gold trade right now because I think this is okay. All right. Okay, so I've got a fill here. Okay, stop through here, through into a profitable trade here. Just going to let this run now on this trade. This is very common that this breaks down like this as they mark the price up. Now you can see everything, and I'm scalping this. I'm not going to hold this for long, but you see the diamonds are red. The trending system is red. I actually had a no demand alert on my email. So 1200 here is where I'm going to be looking for a target on this initial trade of the live session here. Okay, we're going to move that down. Again, we're always locking in profit. Okay, when we're scalping, the idea is to lock profit in where we can to start the session. 1200 is the target, but I'm not going to put a set target in there. By the way, can you all see my screen, by the way? Just want to make sure you can all see the chart. Yeah, I'm working with the volume thermometer and I'm working with the medium-term trending system on this trade. That's correct, Steve. Everything's red, red, red. It's a scalp trade. 1200 is the target based on my point and figure projection. If I get that, that'll be a $200 trade. I've been in it about 2-3 minutes at the moment. I always time the trade, by the way, to see how quickly the trade actually happens. Let's just lock in one more tick here. Always, always, always locking in profit, because the market will bounce. When you get signs of strength, it's very often will bounce up. You never go bust taking profits in the market, okay? Because you can always get back in. That's the key. You can always get back in on the trade. Now, I don't preset a profit target when I'm trading like this, because I'm just trying to get as much as I can from this initial trade at the open. Again, it's a very simple procedure. I see the S&P being marked up. If the S&P and the NASDAQ are going up, the gold is going to fall down to a level. It's probably going to come to the round number, which is the 1200 level. And at the 1200 level, I'll be happy to start taking some profit out of this trade. Again, here, we're going to just keep locking in some profit here. This is what we call chasing the market. Very simple strategy. I use it in the hedge fund for trading some of the commodities. Okay, so we've just ticked down to 1200 where the initial target was here. Again, we're going chasing the trade down now. Okay, so again, always just chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. If we get a fill, we get a fill. Yes, you can let them run if you want to, but I think I'm going to find support at 1200 here. This is where I've got, it's hit the 1200, so it's hit my target already. I could have put an order in there for a fill, but I'm prepared to let this run a little bit. I've got my profit out the trade, so I'm quite happy with that. And I'll show you why the no demand bar came up on the bigger time frame gave me the clue that this was going to run. Okay, now you've got this strength at 1200. There's the buying coming in. Just as I thought. I mean, you can see this once you become familiar. There's the fill. Okay, flatten. Always do this, by the way, guys, if you're using the same system as I am, which is the infinity charts. Okay, always make sure you cancel all once you've taken the trade. I did expect to find support down there. Okay, it may not hold. If it doesn't hold, I'll get in again. That's the first trade of the session that we've seen. Let me just talk you through it and talk you through the logic. Okay, so we're going to start off with the weekly chart. The weekly chart last week we had here, supply overcoming demand, but the market hasn't responded to that yet. Very high volume on this up bar. So I'm looking to see if there's an upthrust today, and I'll start shorting again, because I was short gold from here. And many of you know back in November, I was telling everybody to short gold when Donald Trump got in. Everyone was saying gold was going to be going up as a safe haven. Of course, that's when Trump got in, it collapsed. Today, look at the daily chart. We can see where we're at. We had a test yesterday, but it was on very high volume. So very likely they're going to come and want to retest this area. So 1200 was a key level. The 4-hour chart, what do we see over here? No demand 20 hours ago. All right, no demand 20 hours ago. Notice, please, on this no demand bar, look at the medium-term trending system that we use. Look at the color of the dots, which are the trending system. There's the 1200 hit again. Look at the color of the volume thermometer. Red, red, red. And that's on the 4-hour time frame, which is the bigger time frame. Now, because I could have let this run, don't be under any illusions that you can, you could have left the stop up there and this could completely run. No problem at all. I'm scalping the market here. When I swing trade, I use a much wider stop. 60-minute chart, very obvious. That's supply in the market, and now it's evidenced, as we can see, by the down bar. 15-minute chart, Over here, before I took the trade, was no demand, and it was in a down move. As we can see, there was diamonds here, and it was marked up. But look at the volume as they push it up. No interest in higher prices, and now they're finding support at the 1200, which was my target. 5-minute chart. Okay, now we see reason for the short, lots of no demand bars at this level. And it was where the market had already broken down, and it was a 50% retracement of that move. Now, I'm not going to get into my Fibonacci numbers now because that's proprietary. There's the first move down. There's your first wave. That is a 50% retracement of that wave. If you look at that, where that is, and you look at where the 1200 is, where my target was, that's a 50% retracement. It's called a Fibonacci number. It works almost all the time. And I don't teach that publicly because it's part of our fund strategy, but it is in fact there, no demand, right at the 50% retracement level. Very high probability trade, as you've just seen for yourselves. These trades are not necessarily with trend, although as it happens, today everything was down. And if we look at Smart Center Pro, which sent me the alert when the actual, here, I'll just put it up for you again, we see the weekly and the 4-hour chart was there, but earlier on today, the 5 and the 15 were all negative as well as it began to fall. So it was, again, we're going to get more opportunities in gold as we move forward. Now, it's bounced off the 1200. Just look back at where we actually took the position and what actually happened there. So the trade itself, just looking at the orders coming through. So basically here, it came down to 1200. Professional buying came in, which you all saw. I took the profit. Then over here, very next bar, they tested the buying. So support's come in down here for a reason. Right, they don't want to take it below this round number just yet. And you can see they did the same thing over here. They stopped the market, did the same thing here. So I participated in that move down. And the same thing happened with the British pound. Let me just talk you through here because I think I may well take a trade here on the pound again. Looking for a short trade. Let me just position my... Okay. Right, I'll show you what I'm looking for on the pound here. Let's put Smart Center Pro back on. Okay. Okay, British pound, guys, here. So what I've done, we can see that the weekly is negative, the 60's gone negative, the 1's gone negative, the 5 and the 15 are congestion, but I've put a cross in here manually. It's not flashing to say there's trend alignment, there isn't. But if the 5 and the 15 go short in the next half an hour, I'm going to be shorting this again. And the reason is this. First and foremost, we have got in the background, okay, here on this time frame, I think that's the 5-minute chart, is it? No, it's a 1-minute chart. 1-minute chart, they mark it up buying climax. Over here, you have a trap up move. It falls again, so we will get an opportunity to short it. Now, again, we look at the color of the diamonds. They're red. That's why it's fallen. The market has mushroomed over on the 1-minute chart. The 1-minute chart is the smaller time frame. It's already turning. Where could it go to? Just down here. So 22.84 would be a realistic target. I don't see any strength. I don't see any real buying coming in at the moment. And every time they mark it up like this, it's on high volume and then it falls. Always bear in mind, if you're short over here, sometimes it happens. The market goes against you, you get stopped out and you've got to get back in again. That happens. That does happen. Now let's just have a quick look at Smart Center Pro there. I just came up with a alert here. Let's have a quick look where it was. Okay, so it's now on the NASDAQ again. So again, it's picking up longs on the NASI. Let's go and have a quick look. Yeah, I personally wouldn't want to be long with all this volume around now. I mean, it's now starting to come off. That's massive volume. Look at that, closing in the middle. If that's hidden selling, I mean, I would now like to see this take out this trigger number. You see this line here at 5068. If we take that out and go up there on no demand, then it's a short trade. no doubt about it. Definite short trade. So how are the middle trend and volume thermometer used together? Well, Tom, you just saw it for yourself, and gold. Okay, if they're red, right, here's the 1 minute chart, right? At the time of the trade, right, everything was red. The diamonds were red, okay? The medium-term trending system was red, which is proprietary. It's looking at bullish versus bearish volume. This was very bearish volume coming down. Remember, markets don't just collapse. Some point, professional money will step in and buy. There's a signal. That is a very strong signal. You can actually, that's another signal that will mark a turning point in the chart, a bottom sometimes. And you can see that my 1200 level, that's where it came in at. Look, see here, 1200, buying, move up nearly $1. So I participated in the move, saw the buying, took the profit. This isn't difficult. On the pound chart, yeah, now these blue and yellow lines, Aaron, a stop loss mechanism. Okay, so if I go short, I'd have a stop on the far blue line here. Right, if we get an entry, it'll be on the far blue line. When I mean, if you were long, you'd have been, say you'd gone long here, it would have told you to put your stop where the blue line is. And as the market moves up, look, the stop goes with it until you get stopped out up here. It's a stop management system. And again, if you haven't, you've got it in your system, Aaron, all you've got to do is left click. I think you actually, no, you actually go to settings. I'll get Grigory, I'll send you an email to show you how to do that, but you can set it. Okay, so we're just going to see now on this this British pound instrument whether the diamonds continue to, because we've got a great, see, we've had 3 up bars for 3 minutes, but we've got an up bar on high volume. Market won't like that. 5 minute chart, they've tested this level at the moment. Here's your test. Okay, we're testing it. If that gets broken, these will start to turn red and will commence the downward move. So let's just wait to see if that actually happens. Let's go back to gold. Yeah, look, pop straight back up because of the buying. So if you're short, lock in some profit. You don't have to be greedy. There's always other trades. I was in that trade for 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay, so we can see where we're currently at, and it's gone a bit quiet now. I'm just looking at the number of orders here that are coming in. And we've got quite a few ones, quite a few twos. Okay, let's just have a quick look. Let's just see if Danny's with us. Danny, do you want to do a quick sound check if you've got your mic sorted out? No, don't think you have. Okay, got a couple of alerts coming in on the Forex charts here. Okay, Canadian Japanese yen. Okay, so we've got an alert on the Canadian and the Japanese yen. Okay, so I'm just looking at a Forex market at the moment. I'll come to it in a second. Let's just... Okay, so we've got a short alert on Smart Center Pro here on the Canadian Japanese yen. Okay, so you should all be able to see this now. This is actual trade alert that's just come in here. Can everyone see my screen? Christian, the plugin settings are the same as I gave yesterday. I haven't changed a thing. Same as I did in the webinar yesterday and the day before, which are archived, Christian. Haven't changed the settings at all. I'm just using the short-term and medium-term trending systems. I'm not using the volume thermometer. Haven't changed a thing. Exactly the same settings. Yeah, just so you know. Right, so Japanese yen, okay. Canadian yen, okay. So first of all, what have we got over here, right? Something very important. The end of a rising market on a 1 minute chart. It's only a 1 minute chart, very unusual signal, very powerful signal. We note that the trending systems are red. Just bear with me a sec, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so what we can see here, look, we've got the weekly chart is still green, but we've got lots of signs of weakness on this chart, as we can see. All right, so what's happening is when the weekly chart's been going up, suddenly the smaller time frames are turning. The 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30, the 15-minute chart here, no demand, about nearly an hour ago now. There was a reversal just before that, though. So that's interesting, and now we've got the end of a rising market. So we'll come back and we'll watch this. We've also got an alert that's just come in here, the British pound, Aussie dollar. Going back to gold quickly. Nothing on the pound just yet. Let's go back to gold. Right, and it's made a very nice move higher from that 1200, almost back up to where the entry was. So there's your down move, and it's retraced again 50% on this 1 minute chart. So it's had a downward move. It's a 50% retracement. If we see a sign of weakness on gold now, probably another short trade potentially because of where we're currently at on this 5 minute time frame. Here's your downward move. Here's your weakness. Now it's retraced from that downward move to where the buying is. It's retraced 50%. So what I'm going to do in Smart Center Pro, I'm going to ask the Smart Center to show me any signs of weakness in gold. There's none there yet. But even though these are all grey and congested, right, which you can see the grey dots coming in here, it's telling me there's congestion. If we see another sign of weakness and we're at that round number at near 1200, I would take another short trade here in that instrument. Okay, let me just go back here to the questions. Okay, let's just go through the instruments then one by one. And what we're going to do, just to make life a bit easier, I'm going to switch to the scanner manager. Okay, so here we can see the scanner manager. All right, so that's now brought up all the scanners that scan the various instruments, and we're going to look to see, well, I'm not going to bother with the ones I don't trade, right, like copper and stuff. We'll just get rid of those for the moment. ES. Difficult. You know, you've got a downward move here, you've got upward move here. It's a bit congested at the moment. Nothing much I'd do there. Silver, again, mixed messages. Palladium, yeah, mixed messages. Crude oil, again, mixed. Very mixed. Euro. Look, mess. Don't even touch it. That's what's telling me. Look, grey, green, red. That's a Christmas tree. Don't touch it. Nothing there. Japanese yen. Pff, horrible. Nothing there. Swissy. Look at this. Absolutely horrible. Right? You've got bag holding on the 15-minute chart, which is interesting. That's actually, I will have a look at that in a minute. We'll come back to that. We'll have a look at the Swissy in a second because that's got some bag holding on it. Now the DAX is looking bullish. Nothing there. Potential shorts on the Canadian. So the Canadian and the Swissy we might want to look at. The Dow, mixed. Gold we've already shorted. You can see where the shorts were, here, here. These were all red earlier on. Now it's popping back up because of this buying that came in, look. British pound again now all in congestion. There was a great short there earlier, but it's now gone into congestion. New Zealand dollar, nothing. NASDAQ. See, now that's telling me longs. There's no doubt about that. NASDAQ is looking for long trades at the moment. Even though we've got a lot of volume there, it's all green. It's pushing higher, and I think it's going to make a new high. And the Aussie dollar is mixed as well. Let's just have a quick look at that NASDAQ again. You know, it's pushing higher. Weekly chart, we've made another weekly high. I mean, this can't go on. It's overextended right now. That's a big wave up. You see where the buying is down here and here. Very, very extended though. So I don't like buying market tops, but that's definitely bullish. I mean, everything you see here, look, there's a test a week ago or 4 days ago, and it succeeded. 4-hour chart, another test, succeeded. They're marking the hell of this up. And look at today, look, taking out this old resist. This should be resistance. It's just pushed straight through it. It's almost like the bulls are saying, hey, come on, we love Mr. Trump. Let's keep going here. We wait for the end of a rising market. Now we Swiss franc the 6S, 15-minute chart. You've got your shakeout there. You've got your test there. Yeah, that's not really that bag holding signal on the high volume. If that was into low ground, narrow spread, massive volume, I'd pay a lot more attention to that. But it's definitely changed the trend. You can see where the buying came in. They shook the market out. But again here, there's nothing. You've got a lot of buying over here. And again, if you want to know what a trigger number is, it's very easy to identify it. You mark the closing price of that bar. Look what happens. We come back down, bang onto that close, spring off it and up. We go back up here. Let's just get rid of that. And we have some weakness right here. Supply coming in. We come back down. Very difficult to call that. That is not an. I mean, you've definitely got some no demand or some supply, sorry, coming in here. I would say on that Swissy,
trend alignment to the upside has arrived.
On the Swiss franc, what I'm going to do, I'm going to manually set this to look for a short trade. See, it's all grey. The weekly chart is negative, the 8 hours up. This has all gone very, 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 very congested. But if we do see a sign of weakness here, it's been in a big down move, it's retraced. You've got a lot of supply up here, right? You can see the massive volume. And again here, so the chances of this falling are actually higher than it rallying. So I would be more inclined here to be looking for short trades on the Swiss franc. In fact,
trend alignment to the upside has arrived.
Okay, the ES is doing the same. Okay, just put an order just below this Swissy here. So at 950, 9950 now. Let's just see what happens here. What we've got, all right, is I'm waiting for the actual principle to appear, but I'm pretty certain we're going to see no demand on this 5-minute chart. If that does confirm it, then what will happen is these diamonds will start to turn red. And we should start to come down to this level where the actual previous support line was. The reason I'm looking for shorts is you've got a lot of volume on these up bars here, and you've got weakness in the background. And if we look at the weekly chart, we're clearly in a downtrend. We've got this support line that we're at the moment. You see we've got support here at point A, and we've got more support here, but this is failing. This supply, this testing failed. And now you've got an increasing amount of volume on the down bar. That's not good. I mean, that means it's trying to push lower. Daily chart, okay, well, it's a mess. Not particularly nice at all. It's messy. 4-hour chart, okay, you've got weakness up here. You've got more weakness up here. There's the no demand bar. They're testing that now. Okay, so what we're looking for is if that test fails, boom, change in behavior. 60-minute chart, we've already got supply confirmed by the next bar closing lower. So we know there's some selling in this area. It's very congested, I have to say. This is a very congested chart. 15-minute chart, a bit more obvious, supply, 2 down bars, we've got an up bar. And again, in the next 14 minutes, if that closes on low volume, that would be no demand.
Sign of strength has arrived.
Okay, where's that? That's on the NASDAQ again. So this NASDAQ is testing again. Let's have a quick look. That's the test that it's identified. Again, I wouldn't be trading this right now. That's too choppy. Too choppy. Could go either way. You've got a lot of supply present up here. Yeah, that's not obvious. Yeah, Christian says have a quick look at oil. I just saw that in crude. Yeah, it's not there yet, but let's have a quick look. I wouldn't short it yet. Not there yet. Still pushed, still being marked up. Let's have a look again what Smart Center Pro says. Look at crude oil. Look, would you want to start shorting against that, and that? I wouldn't. I'm not going to short there. I want to short when it changes behavior. So where I would start thinking of shorting, Christian, see the high volume up bar here? That becomes a trigger bar. Put your trigger underneath it. Now, if the market rounds over, if it mushrooms is over, takes out that low here, and then goes up on no demand and then continues to fall, then you've got a short trade. 60-minute chart. Yeah, there is a climactic bar there. There's definitely no argument. There's no volume on it. There's very little volume, but it's weakness. But I personally would not short that until it's changed behavior. But again, everything is down to your style of trading. You know, you've got to make up your own mind from a perspective of whether you want to take a trade at a top. Let's go back to that Swiss franc. Yeah, this could, I'm just waiting now for this to see if we get a no demand bar here. Yes, it could be an up thrust as well. Yeah, if it's an up thrust, that's fine. We'll see. Okay, so the CAD Japanese yen has triggered, by the way, just so you know. CAD Japanese yen has triggered. Nothing much yet on the... So all of these currencies at the moment are being pushed higher by smart money at the moment. Oh, thank you, Gar. Yeah, I've got it on my other computer. I'll reset that in a second. With that, I tell you what, Steve, are you there? If you want to have a quick look at gold again, because it's actually quite interesting what it's done since that buying came in. So are you there, Steve?
Yeah, just watching the market, listening in. It's
Yeah. So there was the short, and then it's professional buying right on the 1200, and they've popped it straight back up. Look, after that buying's come in, any testing here, you probably get a trade to the upside here because they're definitely marking gold up, no doubt about it. Actually, Steve, let me hand over to you, and then I've done an hour, and I'll be in the background. If I take any trades, I'll shout them out, and I'll hand you now over to everybody to Steve Phillips, who runs our live trading room. He specialises really in the S&P and gold, but he does look at stocks and stuff as well with Smart Center Pro. So, Steve, great to have you here. Over to you if you want to take the chart.
Thanks for that, Gavin. Grab the charts here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone doing? Nice to see everybody here. Should get some more volatility. I had a lot right at the open, which was kind of nice. There was some questions about gold, and we'll take a look at the indexes as well, see if they'll hold the support. Right now, gold's pushing up to a area of a possible resistance up here at 06, but we'll have to see what the S&Ps will do as well. What may happen is it may blow through that 06 to get to 1210, but as you see here on the 15-minute chart and the 30-minute chart, a widespread up bar into this 06 level, rounded over and trapped it. So there's a bit of an ice in here, and you can see it on the 15 as well. We'll see what happens here. If they can blow through it, they accumulate it real quick, and then boom, took it back and then tested this creek, and that's where Gavin was talking about support in those levels. So yeah, it was coming off the ice, rejecting, and going back to a small creek. They didn't quite bring it all the way down. Let's see if there's enough energy to get it over 1206. Now, what will have to happen here, the ticks in the New York Stock Exchange showing how many stocks are going up versus going down, and going down versus going up, that is. And right now there's 300 stocks more going down than up. So there's a little pressure on the indexes. And when that happens, gold tends to lift. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. Let's see where it started from. Remove that. Started at 1200. At 1212 it could exhaust itself. 1217. If it happens to fly up there on climactic action without getting long here, I would scalp into that short and then see if it will go down to 1210. That 1217 really looks inviting up there. But at the moment, watch this trap move. If it's a slow move, then it's up thrust in here, 2-bar reversal. It's good stuff for long shorts. Back down to 1200 at 1198. Pulls back in here at that creek level that we saw on the 15-minute chart. That would be good for longs. So right now it's getting up into some old resistance. And if you look at the S&Ps, so I really encourage you to correlate the two. We've got to push higher above some support. The question is, are they distributing here, or are they going to pull it back on light volume, try to push the highs? Next half hour will really give us a good clue. They pull it back in here on light volume. Look for some testing to go on at 65. If that does happen, they'll probably challenge the highs again. If there's another scenario here I like to look for, it slices down and holds lower, on a half-hour chart, from down to about 62. I'll reverse my thinking and go short at 65 and look to cover around 58. That was one of those wait and sees on the 15 and the 30. Something to really correlate though. Gold, when the S&Ps go up, gold has pressure on it. Intraday stuff. When the S&Ps go down, gold tends to lift. So really want to correlate the two. And right now I'm going to stay bullish on the indexes because they're above the old support level. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Yeah, that's better. There's an old support level down here at 2265, 2266 was resistance, and they just blew through it. That's why I'm bullish at the moment. I don't want to short the top up in here on the S&Ps. I'd rather buy a pullback or have it dip through that old support, that support level, and show it as resistance. And with that in mind, I'd prefer to short any up moves in the resistance at the moment with gold. If the S&Ps fail, well, gold will start rallying, and then I can reverse my thinking and start buying pullbacks. That's the intraday stuff. That's kind of what I'm looking for on both gold and the S&Ps. Somebody was asking about crude light. Crude light looks bullish at the moment, and the reason being the S&Ps are up. As you see, there's pushing higher here. In the Dow, in crude light, intraday wise, they like to run together. So again, I'm going to correlate that with the market sentiment. And make sure if the S&Ps are bullish here, then I'll be going long crude light intraday wise. If the S&Ps are bearish intraday wise, I'll be going short crude light intraday wise. It really nullifies some of those signals that you would normally, that would normally work, and a good principle. And then they chop around at best because it's the market breadth is different. It's a market sentiment there. So right now I'd be looking for longs at 53.05. If the S&Ps can do some testing down here, that would be ideal. 2266. Another 4 points to the downside. A Smart Center Pro daying off here. Let's take a look at a few things. Trending up. I got the NASDAQ and the S&Ps looking for longs at the moment. Crude light looking for longs, and gold looking for shorts. Philip Morris fired off as a long, a trend long on a daily. As you see, all the time frames are lined up except for the weekly. So be a little shorter term hold. I'm going to hold my Philip Morris for a month at least. Well, got another 10 days left. And I've got the euro and the pound on the sidelines at the moment, but when I was talking about correlation and intraday correlation, if there's a bullish stance in the indexes, the euro USD, pound USD, when it's crossed that way, they tend to go the opposite direction. They'll go down while the S&Ps are going up, and vice versa. So things to consider. For the market breadth. So I'm going to wait for some pullback here. I saw a long signal on the NASDAQ earlier as it was rising. Now I've got some widespread up bar followed by a down bar. See if they'll start to hold in here. And any testing or two-bar reversals or shakeouts would be good stuff for longs. See if they can absorb it, push it back higher here. Right now it's just kind of caught in a wedge. Got a nice swift move to the upside. You always have to ask yourself, what are they going to do with it next? If it goes up and then starts to drift down on light volume, expectation they're going to probably challenge the highs again. It started drifting up and they started to get up thrust and then it started going sideways and drifting up. I would expect it to fall off because what they're doing is artificially holding it up. So they may, definitely some selling in here. Let's look at all the volume. They may have gotten some buyers excited and pull it back at some lower levels and do some testing here. I'm going to walk through some stocks real quick. Got accumulation in here, a little effort to push, a test. Oops. So you got some strength in the background of the weekly. It's at those levels. It's just starting to round a bit. There's some old weakness in the background. But you look at the monthly, it's on an uptrend. It's down at a technical. It's down at the diamonds here, which is a bit choppy. Nice shakeout. Hitting a nice technical on the moving average coming up. In the background, here's the accumulation with that effort to rise. Came right back down into accumulation. It's a monthly chart. Expectation, it's going to trade higher for the month or within the next couple months. It should trade higher and start challenging these highs again. So a beautiful setup on DUK, just point that out. When you see that on a monthly chart, good thing to do is look for signs of strength throughout the month on the daily and the weekly.
Steve, just to let you know, the CAD JPY has triggered and been filled. Can I just show the screen quickly if I can?
Sure.
It was the Smart Center Pro trade from about 15 minutes ago. I'll just show it just quickly. Can you just let me know when you can see my screen?
Yeah, you're up and running. Good stuff.
Yeah, okay. Here's the alert. It was no demand, okay, which we can clearly see. Put the scanner up. Okay, here's your reversal. Okay, which we can clearly see on the 1 minute chart. Here's the no demand on the 15-minute chart. Everything's trending down. There's the weakness that appeared, which we talked about earlier. And you can see now everything, the diamonds, we have one grey diamond, that turned grey here, and then everything's broken down from there. Okay, if we look at the Smart Center Pro, we've also got an alert on the GBP AUD, okay, for a potential short that's just come in now, if you can all see that. All right, so basically 2 alerts from Smart Center Pro in Forex at the moment. And interestingly, I've got a potential short on the Dow Jones, would you believe? Just starting to roll over on the 1 minute chart. Right, but all of these trades so far today have been from Smart Center Pro. All of the trades are from Smart Center. Okay, well done, Theo. I saw that. Catherine, I just answered your question, the CAD JPY. Okay, so I answered that. Theo took off plus 18 on some shorts on the pound on Aussie. Well done. Good. Yeah. Again, looking at the logic, again, just keep some simple logic to these trades, okay? Let's not get over confused with them, okay? The daily chart is negative. It's been going down for the last 7 days, okay? The 4-hour chart, we've had a trap up move here yesterday, just before yesterday, in fact, okay? Trap up move. Everything then turned negative. You can see the 1-minute chart here about 12 minutes ago, which actually triggered the trade, was the reversal, 126. And we had no demand on the 15-minute chart, which we can clearly see here on the 15-minute chart, was shown as an alert. When a trade is triggered in Smart Center Pro, it flashes with the indicator number in the time frame. The bigger the time frame, the bigger the move. Very simple. If it's a 1-minute chart, you get a scalp like I did in gold, which is what the alert was. This is a 15-minute chart. It's a much bigger move, and it's very likely to come back to where this reversal was earlier, where I was long, and it's come straight back down to the reversal bar to retest this level. Going back to futures, there's 2 alerts in Forex. Going back to futures, the black box, the magical black box has just appeared. So I've got to show you this, because this could be big. Okay, now we see 1-minute chart of the Dow. This is important, and I'll show you why. Very important. We notice that the spreads of the bars are narrowing here. We note that we only closed once above this high volume bar. This is the highest volume bar of the day, here and here, and one here. If we get back into that level, that's going to be shorting opportunity, right? But already there's potential shorts coming up at this level here. Now, it's not quite rolled over yet, right? We're looking for that mushroom shape. But what is definitely happening here is we're moving into an equilibrium area. This is going to break out. Now, how many of you were there yesterday for the event that I did with Round the Clock Trader, where I shorted the Dow Jones? Can I just ask, how many of you were there yesterday for the short that I took on the Dow Jones in the Round the Clock Trader event? Can any of you there yesterday for that? We're breaking out right now, in fact. Yes, the Smart Center Pro will show the black box as well. Right, well, I'm already filled here, so let's just have a quick look at where we're going with this. And I expected this to happen as well. It's breaking down because of that weakness. All right, so we'll just follow this through. Sorry, Steve, I'm just going to follow this through here. Okay, so I'm short here from 54. And I've got my stop just above here at 71, above the previous high. Right, now the diamonds need to stay red here, and we need to take out this low here. Now keep in mind, if that black box here is correct, we could get a very explosive move. Now it could go either way, which is why I've got to stop here at 771, just above here, above this previous old high. We're going to read each bar by bar. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, while we're in this trade, is give you bar by bar analysis as I see it. There is some buying on this bar. There's a bit of stopping volume. If it doesn't hold the market on the 1-minute chart and we break the low of that bar, then we'll start to move downwards. And we'll move down probably fairly quickly. Now, we've also got alerts coming in now on the S&P, look, long. So it's showing that they're testing the S&P. They're doing the same thing. Note, a couple of things to keep in mind. Diamond's red. That's what I want to see. The medium-term trending system is red. The black box has appeared and we've moved down. It's only appeared on a 1-minute chart. This is much more powerful on a bigger time frame. So it may only move it down 3 or 4 ticks. Don't know that yet. The diamonds have stayed red, so we're trending lower. We've got weakness in the background here, but they've tested that weakness once, but it's responded negatively. Once, twice. Big slam down as they catch the breakout traders here. But this is actually a typical Friday. And before Donald Trump gets sworn in here, this is probably what you're going to see. A lot of light volume, nothing happening. But I'm prepared to stay with the trade because it is one of those situations where it is one of those days where you don't know what's going to happen. Just be aware, I'm waiting for a breakdown to happen. If it doesn't happen in the next 10 minutes, I should just move my stop to break even and sit back. I'm giving it a bit of breathing room because I've already made $680 today, so I've got money to play with. But I'm not going to play with any more than $80 here. I'm not going to lose any more than $80. Remember, I'm trading a $5,000 account here. And the 4 trades I've had so far today have all been from Smart Center Pro, plus there's 2 in FOREX. I'm only talking about futures at the moment. Currently, the FOREX CAD Japanese yen trade is still working beautifully. And I'm going to take some profit off that shortly. Yeah, of course, Olga. Yeah. And you've also got the options expiring today as well, of course. So it's to the witching. So that could have an effect as well. So a quick look at gold. Yeah, gold's starting to push off now. Gold, another short coming here on gold potentially. There's your big supply bar coming in. 15-minute chart, look, very high volume on this bar as they mark it up. That's deliberately done to catch shorts. I was short earlier. I closed my position just in time. That's what you try to do. So now we'll watch to see where we go with this. Okay, so we've had a down bar with some buying. We've got up bars on pretty low volume. Pretty nondescript at the moment. I want to see it take out this 1740 level. Then I can start working with the trade. Again, if a trade doesn't move like you expect it to within the period that you're analysing, this is a 1-minute time frame. If it doesn't move, you can close the trade. Never be frightened to close a position or move it to break even if you're not sure. Not a problem at all, because that's what trading's about. It's about managing your risk. This has got the classic behaviour of the mushroom. You can see it here. Right, we come up, we're marked up at the open, we come up, here's the mushroom top, and now we're coming up to this level. This is the key level right here, where the previous reaction point was. What I'm looking for to happen is a widespread down bar on an increase in volume, closing on the low through this area. That has to happen in the next few minutes. And if that happens, then I'm correct about the analysis that I'm seeing in the background. And then I can start deciding what I want to do with the stop and the trade. Very light volume on these moves at the moment, so not a lot of activity at the moment on these bars. But when they decide to slam it down, if they do, this is a key area. See this high volume bar here, right? I can now take that bar and see this line. I can move it to the low, and you watch what happens as they come into this. They're now looking at this level here. And you see it's right on this high volume bar where the selling took place. Once that breaks it, it'll break fairly quickly because they'll know that there's distribution. Professional money will see the distribution across this top. Just here. This is where the distribution line is, right there. Okay, so we haven't had any high volume on this down move. It's still just drifting. It's like not doing very much. Yeah, Theo, that's exactly what I'm doing here. This is the Dow. The Nasdaq's doing much the same thing. Euro, yeah, not there yet. Not there yet. It's starting to mushroom. Not there yet. I'd say the Dow and the Nasdaq at the moment are doing that, but they're whipsawing it in here. Yeah, so it's not doing what I'm expecting it to do here. You see, that should have closed on its low. Don't like this. So what I'll do is I'm going to move my stop straight away just above the thing. Reduce my risk on it. Don't like the look of it at the moment. It's not doing what I'm expecting. So never be frightened to, if it's going to whipsaw like this, right? I don't want to be in there and lose. I'm going to take a little bit of a hit on this if I get stopped out. But that should have closed on its low. If it was genuinely weak, it should have closed on the low of the bar. It's not done it. Not going to leave it. Not going to leave it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And this is a typical Friday. I've already made good money. Not going to throw it back at the market. If it had broken down on an increase in volume, closing near its low, which it didn't do, I'd have let that run. But it hasn't done it. So I've changed my view. I'm just protecting it and saying, done. That's what you've got to do. That's what trading's all about. You're not going to be right 100% of the time. Sometimes your timing might be out. The black box here, it moved down on a 1 minute chart when it appeared. It moved down a few ticks. Now I'm at a situation here where I've got a stop just above my entry. So $5 loss, no big deal, plus the commission. But again, because I've made so much already today, I was prepared to take that trade because, again, if it does, it could still come through it. You know, this is how trading is. You trade what you see. You know, these two bars don't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, this was buying. Yes, there was some strength there. It came and broke the low of this, right? And then they mark it straight back up. So they're not ready to move this right at the moment. But this wonderful thing about this black box is you don't know how quickly it's going to happen in the future. It can happen like 20 bars after you see it. It can suddenly take off, just so you know. Like it did with the Dow Jones yesterday. I took a trade with the round the clock trader seminar, and I was short, very nice short trade. And then just as we closed off air, bang, the whole thing took off. It's trading in quite a tight range here at the moment as well. You can see the range where it's range bound in these bars, in these big volume bars. That's where it's range bound at the moment. But that doesn't mean it's not going to blow off. You know, again, you've just got to be ready for these things. I've taken the trade. I could have taken a bit of profit down here. If this closed on the low here, we'd have been off to the races. That's what you expect to see. Didn't happen. Okay. Right, we've got a bit of no demand. Right, now, remember, everything has to be confirmed. This bar needs to close lower to confirm that indicator. It can't close high. If it closes higher, not going to happen. So even though you see no demand, it has to have the next bar closing lower for confirmation. Read the dialog box. It all makes sense. The next bar should be down. What does down mean? Closing below the close of this bar. That's a confirmed indicator at that point, which means that actually this trade could start to develop for us. Steve, I'll bring you back in a second to look at gold. But I just want to see if this does actually break. It's not quite there yet. Okay, so we do have a confirmation now. So this has turned solid red now. Notice it's solid red. It's not like this one here, which is light red. It's solid, which means it's confirmed. Now this next bar should close below this line. That's what we're looking for now. So we close below here. We'll see if it does it. Again, sometimes the market doesn't do it. Other times it responds perfectly. Very light volume at the moment, though. Really like sluggish, isn't it? Yeah, Terence, we've got a new website that we post these on now, which is tradingthemarkets.com. We'll email out the link for this new site. It's every week we're going to do one event like this, and we're going to post it publicly, Terence. We will send you the link to the new website in an email, so keep an eye on your email. Bit like watching paint dry, this, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, there's no trades here at the moment. This is just nonsense, really. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to wait till the inauguration. There you go, I'm filled. So, yeah, nothing at all here happening. So, Steve, there's a $5 loss there. Nothing going on. It's just not moving at the moment. So we'll wait and see. Steve, the FOREX trade's still working, so that's good. I'll hand back over to you. Not much happening there at the moment on the Dow. Haven't got a microphone. Steve can't hear you.
Thanks for that. I was babbling away.
Yeah, there you go.
The markets, yeah, that short was hitting support there on the S&Ps. So it's probably stalled out a bit. And we're still slightly bullish in the stock market. We'll see if it wants to start popping 600 here and then coming back to zero. Most likely we'll get a nice push back down on gold. I'd like to see it push back up 1206 and show some signs of weakness in those levels. So I've got the Smart Center Pro going, looking for weakness at the moment on gold. That Dow I won't even touch for long, so it's a good choice to short because it's acting much weaker than the index. Good stuff there. See the market starting to rev up. The Dow is plus 88. Let's see what the S&Ps are doing here. We've got a nice sign of strength here on the 15-minute chart. 2270.75 is the high of that bar. As you see, we had a widespread up bar, and the last 3 bars came down on a little lighter volume. It's lack of selling pressure there, so the S&Ps are acting pretty strong. But if you look at the Dow, oops, that's the YM. If you look at the Dow here, it's pretty much doing the same thing at the moment. Earlier off, looking at the 60-minute chart, you can see it was on a downtrend and it's just broke the uptrend. If you look at the S&Ps on the hourly chart, it's already breaking that. It's not on a full-blown downtrend like the Dow was. That's what I was referring to as being weaker. And as you see, a little smoother to the upside on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's acting strongest at the moment. Intraday-wise, the S&P's looking a little stronger. So the financials, the bank stocks should be going up faster than the tech stocks today. And the industrials are going up pretty decent today, just based off of this. So we'll take a look, a little closer look at some levels if it gets to 66 on the S&Ps. If the gold gets up to 1206, I'll look for some short opportunities in there, and specifically if the S&Ps are starting to rally and hold that support. There is a accumulation in here, a lot of volume down here. It looks like they retested it, but the effort to push above this old level didn't work, so we'll see if they can do it again. If there's a widespread up bar through this level, again, we'll have to wait for the pullbacks. Smart Center Pro going here. NASDAQ. Back to the S&Ps. If the market changes behavior, well, maybe get a fallout and have it fall through here. Then I'll go with the flow, but in the meantime, I'm going to stay bullish until 66. Yeah, let's check in on the news real quick as well. when is this, excuse me, I should know, when is this happening, the talking? Again at 9:30, oh, it's already started, 6:30, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Actually, swearing in ceremony won't start until 11:30 a.m., which is already, well, that's another hour from now. It's 10:30 at the moment. So, maybe some more volatility here to give them an excuse to move some things. But as you see, it's got us stuck. First half hour, we went up pretty decent. 66 and a quarter to 70.75. 72.75. Good 6.5 points. Second half hour is about 3.5 points. It's starting to shrivel up a bit. I'm looking for USB to get up to the 52.24 level. If it does, I'm going to take half my profits off. Let some more run. Been long on that for a little bit. It's one of those stocks that's acting stronger than the index. What I do is I look at the end of day data, and I put it into the trade guider software and then do a scan. And I look at the sectors, and then I look at the sectors versus the indexes and see which one's acting stronger or weaker. Then I look at the stocks within those sectors and look at the stronger ones that are acting stronger within that sector, and things work out. So you're usually picking things up that are acting stronger than the index. If you're long, the index starts to sag, it usually will hold pretty good. And then when it goes up, it takes off pretty quickly. This one had a dividend date, so it gapped down here, and they're just filling the gap. But some nice support here at some levels. At a key level, they gapped it up, came back down, held it twice. So it's a nice long signal. Took off, and then of course the dividend date, sign of strength. Now they filled the gap. So expectation it's going to continue its journey into some of those levels. It's not too far away, near the highs, and then see if it breaks the highs, then it's off to the races. There's really nothing behind it. But you see it's pretty exponential. Widespread up bars, and it kind of just came down on a lighter volume. Expectation it's going to push up pretty aggressive. You got crude light firing off, telling me there's some strength on the 3-minute. Let's take a look at that. So looking for this to push up to 52.24. Start paying nice. S&Ps are at 68.75. 30-minute charts trending up. 60-minute charts jump to create. As you see, there's a bit of a trap in here, right here. So we got to watch the up thrusting. Double top in here, trap, another trap here. Watch some up thrusting here, but really looks strong. It continues here, 53.63 to 54.08. Nasdaq's firing off long on the 2-minute. So, take a look at crude light on the 3. It's kind of smacked up. If it breaks that level, it's good stuff. There's a widespread up bar followed by some testing here. Massive volume on 3-minute. Looking at the S&Ps, are they going to hold? Right now they're just kind of chopping around. And watch the tick. If they just all of a sudden we're down to minus 300, that crude light's not going to fire off. So don't like crude light at the moment on a 3-minute chart. Back off and see if something shows up on a larger time frame. Specifically down here at 53.38 for longs. So not going to take that 3-minute breakout here because it's teetering. It's a teeter-totter on the indexes. If they start to break, yeah, it's good stuff. Break out, that is, and firm up, and boom. We'll see if they want to test this shakeout here. Prefer to see down there at 66, I'm sorry, 66. Nasdaq's coming off pretty good. This thing's hanging on a ledge, and the Nasdaq's at 84. So that Nasdaq sign of strength is obviously, oh, that was a sign of weakness back here. What was it, 2-minute? Yeah, signs of strength are kind of dropping down right now. It's a 2-minute chart. But they're trying to hold it, as you see, is boom, 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 boom. Nasdaq's much weaker, though. If you look at that, it's rounding over. Much more aggressive than the S&Ps. See that the S&Ps are kind of holding here, have a holding pattern and some testing. That's why the S&Ps would be a stronger long today. Dow's looking pretty decent as well. Nasdaq's kind of weak. See what happens when it gets to 66 here. Still going up, good stuff. I'm going to sell half my position if it gets into this 22 level, 52.22 level. Then put a break-even stop and start trailing it on some smaller time frames as opposed to riding it out on the daily. I saw it moving up pretty good into my area of target, so I need to do that. Some housekeeping there. SO is kind of weak at the moment. You see a little change in behavior. Watch the S&Ps. They're 68 right now. Market slightly negative all of a sudden. A sign of strength coming in. Need some volume in this. That would help. But you got a widespread up bar and a shakeout looking bar here. There's a trap in the background. As you see, it's bumping its head. This is the pound US dollar. That 37.10, 23.71 level, excellent area for shorts. Nasdaq's firing off, saying there's a sign of strength on the 3-minute. So watch $23.71, possible short opportunity up there on the pound. There's a bit of a trap in here. at 23.45 as well. So 23.45 up to 23.71. Any signs of weakness in distribution? Awesome short. Let's see what the NASDAQ's doing here. 15's trying to shake loose. It's a 3-minute chart, another sign of strength. As you see, it's been kind of failing. What I'd like to see is a sign of strength on a large time frame. And then within that same time, say a sign of strength shows up on the half hour. Within that half hour, signs of strength show up on the smaller time frames. Smart Center Pro alerts me to that, and I'm a happy trader. The elections were a nice time to trade. Election day, overnight. It's got a holding pattern here on the S&Ps. I'm going to reset this thing. It's frozen. There it is. Looking at the Smart Center Pro here. $91 on the Dow. Really watching this close here. It's the starting to firm up nice. See if the USB will start popping up with it. As you see, it's pretty trapped on the pound, so strength back down at these levels would be more ideal. These levels being where they were accumulated. Top of that is 122.98 down to 122.59. So pretty decent playing field in there. 48 to 71, 23.71. Back and forth in there as well. But right now it's coming off of a trap move and tried to reaccumulate and jump. See what happens if they bump their head again at the ice. They have already done it once, as you see. They started slamming here, bumped, and then, ooh, that's definitive. And no surprise they're having a problem with this second trap here. So watch 23.24 as well. 23.24, there's a pivot here. But what's happening is the S&Ps are still firming up. The market's not having any of it here. They droop and then boop right back up. That is a low volume down bar. It's a no supply bar. The high of that bar is 69.75. 70 and a quarter, 64, 6. Be nice to take the trade, but what I want to do is put my stop 64 and a quarter level. The reason being is if I'm wrong, I don't want to be long anyway. I prefer to try to short it, so I don't want to stick it right in here, say under this pivot of this bar, just to justify the risk reward. So I'm expecting it to go to 74 and a quarter if it pops the highs here. Now, looking at the weekly chart, the week's not over. It is options X week, and got a lot of factors going on. Make it a little more interesting, but look what the weekly chart's doing here. Little supply in there, right, from the week before. But they're definitive buying bars. It's not, I don't see any weakness here. A little supply, but that's it. It's a weekly chart. And if it breaks 77, you would expect it to capitulate. And any shorts are going to start giving up. I'm still looking bullish here on the 15-minute chart. How far will it go? Probably 74 and a quarter. I take a breakout at 70 and a quarter, I'm looking at 4 points. If I put my stop down there at 64 and a quarter, I'm looking at 6 points. If I do that on a regular basis, and even if I was a 1-to-1, just set myself up to fail, so I don't want to do that. So I'll be patient and wait for it to pull back. But it's, like I said, it's probably going to push higher. Some of those long stocks that I'm in will pay nice, which is good. Watch gold now. Considering what we're seeing here, you would expect gold to start rolling over. Good stuff, Theo. Pretty mixed bag here, looking across the board. Pretty decent uptrend here. You just got a sign of strength on the 15-minute chart. On the NASDAQ as well. So definitely want to look at those two. This an hour chart just shut down, by the way. Nice uptrend here. And it's starting to pull back to that 38. Yeah, it's still not there. The markets should be revving up. Look at the NASDAQ, see if it's taken off. 30.15. NASDAQ high of that bar is 63.75, 64 and a half. Dow's at 101. What we'll do is get long the NASDAQ here. Look for this breakout. The stops in place. Gonna watch the 69 level here. They are just started. Give us a little time. It's a 15-minute chart. Expectation is should finish higher and challenge this pivot here at 69. And it's a 96 on the Dow. If this falls through, it should challenge the high here. And possibly get to that 74 and a quarter. Red light's coming off. That's surprising. Gold's actually kind of staggering. Looking for some evidence for this thing to lift through. At 65 on the NASDAQ. $230 will help. 15-minute chart. Here's your effort to rise above this. Market's starting to falter again. Back to 99 on the Dow, 98 on the Dow. Yeah, you got to get, every once in a while, you got to get used to watching paint dry as a trader. But when the setups come along, you jump all over them. So right now, just monitoring the market and the market breadth, making sure nothing wild starts happening to the downside. Really stable at the moment. Take a look at the currencies again. Yeah, good stuff, Theo. It's okay to change your opinion quickly and manage the risk by sitting on the sidelines because the expectation hasn't been met. It's perfect. Good trading there.
Hi Steve, just to let you know I'm filled short gold 1203.
Good stuff. Looks like if the indexes pop here, you should be getting a good ride there. To the downside, 1198. Maybe they'll make it down there eventually. $100 on the Dow. We get 130 on the Dow. Things should start rolling pretty good. Let's take a look at the 5-minute here. Are you referring to a short, Jay? We got a widespread up bar. Ask yourself where they push it through. The initial would be 1203.9. They drop it through, and now there's a holding pattern here though, so expectation maybe they'll come back and up thrust it, but that's not happening. So the S&P started to firm up, but if it does up thrust it around 1203, 1205, what we need to see is a slice through here at 1202.8 to there would be an expectation, okay, it's getting down to 1200, 1198. So widespread up bar will create a pivot low. It may even do it here. Wander back up, hold that 1205 and then slice through. Watch the S&Ps or the indexes. All of a sudden we're trading down. This is most likely going to start to challenge this 05 again. But, yeah, any slice through here at the moment, and we still got some time left on this bar. All of a sudden we're down here at 1201. Okay, that's the pivot low. So when you ask that question, the trigger would have been 1202.8. But always anticipating, just in case, you know, the market could do strange things at any given time. But yeah, so far that's what it appears. Another down bar and closing lower. Say, okay, they got them. Hope that helped. Trend alignment on the euro yen. When you see trend alignment on the currencies, it's really strong. Line them up at that 60, 30, 15, and the 5. Pretty powerful. It's a no supply bar here on the 5-minute. See if the NASDAQ's done. Somebody asked me about where would I bail if it started to fail. And that would be under the pivot low of the half-hour bar. Basically the moving average in there at 58.25. I'm looking to peel off, run, see if it'll challenge the highs again. By the way, up at 83. Let's see if it'll get back to some decent levels up in there. 50.69 and beyond. 105 on the Dow. If we hit a 130, I take notes every day, journal things, take pictures. Every time the Dow hits 130 during the day, write it down, see what happens. You know, if it's minus 130 during the day, see where it ends up. So write that down, then write where it ends up. see something pretty interesting there. Probably has something to do with those breakers and things in the market. Automatic arbitrage trading. Ooh, it's failing a little. 100 on the NASDAQ, or the Dow. Thinking about the NASDAQ right now. 15 minutes, still responding here. Good stuff on the S&Ps.
Steve, can I just show something on gold, which is quite interesting?
Sure.
Just give the guys something to look at. There's not much happening on anything really much else at the moment, but this is the 5-minute chart of gold. Can you all see the gold here? Okay, so what we know about this chart is I've marked the bottom of this very high volume up bar here, which obviously this bar close level. I've got candlesticks on here because I'm trying a new strategy that was shared with me a few weeks ago. I'm just seeing if it actually works or not with candlesticks. Actually, it's quite good, actually, some of these things. But there's a candle here. We can see that with definitely supply entering the market. We can see that there. Market's come off. It's had a few tests that have sort of gone sideways, and now they're obviously testing this level. And they would do, because this is where the supply came into the market. We've already had a down move. This, again, if we look at the retracement line on this big move, it's a 50% retracement. Here's your big downward move, which we can see, big wide down move. So I was able to short some of this. Okay, then we have a nice upward move here, right? But if you look at the top of this bar here, up at 1209, and you take the bottom down here, where the sort of support came in, and this is almost 50% at 1205. Yeah, so that's where they've pushed it up on very high volume into the retracement line, sold it off again. So your key level now, if you haven't already got short, I'm already short, but if you haven't, wait for it to push down through this low here, where the line is, because they're testing it right now. If that test fails, it will break like this, and then it will go back up there on no demand. So you still have an opportunity to trade it. But it hasn't done it yet. And actually, do you know something? The markets are a bit of a mess right now because of this inauguration. They're not quite sure which way they want to go. I mean, the Dow, for instance, looked weak, but look at what it's done. That's definite weakness, but they don't like it. They're holding it up. They're holding it up for a reason. That's why gold's falling. Steve was talking about the S&P. I mean, we had a test, and they've held it. Tom always taught me, Gav, if you see weakness that gets tested within 3 or 4 bars, you're probably going to have another leg up. That's what he always taught me. That's why you just don't see a sign of weakness and short it. You wait for the market to actually change behavior. Where you would short this, if you were intending to do so, and this is very important, is you use what we call the trigger number. These are already built into Smart Center Pro anyway. But if you want to do it manually, it marks the low of this bar. The market's never gone below this. So because it's never gone below the trigger, you wouldn't even think. And look, we're in an uptrend. So please, just because you think weakness appears on up bars, it does, but you've got to wait for a change in behavior. And a change in behavior has not been materialized yet. And if this tests this no demand bar here, if we get a test, it's going to go up again. That's how it works. Gold, you see now, starting to break down. There's the widespread down bar. Okay, so let's have a quick look where we're at. So there's the widespread down bar now. All right, I emptied at 1203. Okay, now we'll see. Now I think Steve's right. I think this could go all the way down to the 1198 level. That's very possible. Okay, now the 1203 level is just up here. Okay, so one of the things, obviously, I've already made some money here in the market. Don't want to give any of that back. So again, very simple procedure. Remove the auto center, come up, stop, which was up at 1204, goes to break even. Okay, now again, that's just a simple strategy which takes the hassle and the stress out of the trade. So I'm not stressed. There's no stress to be had, because everything's telling me that the trigger number's been broken. Smart Center Pro alerted no demand on the 1 minute, and then we've had here, obviously the diamonds are red. This is still green, funnily enough, on this time frame. You've still got the green here, but it doesn't worry me, because I can see this trigger, this high volume bar, has been broken. And it's been broken on an increase in volume closing near its low. Now, target, yeah, I would say I agree with Steve. 1198, probably down here, around this level. So that's a proper trade setup. That's VSA 101 as they call it. Okay, 1203. So 1202 locks in $100. So we'll do that now. So that's whatever happens here, it's $100 profit. But I'm now going to let this run. I'm not going to touch it. So whatever happens now, I should just let this run down to the 11.98. Once it gets to 11.98, which I'm sure it will, we'll see what happens at that price level. Because what they're going to do, they're going to come down to this old level here, around here, look. So 1200 is your first area of support. If it breaches that, it'll be on an increasing volume, widespread down, closing near the low. But gold has a tendency to pop and bounce, which is why I always try to get my profit target, you know, immediately in there. Yeah, thanks, Theo. Yeah, this is classic. I mean, you see that it's almost a 50% retracement to the tick. Okay, and then obviously you can see here now what they're doing. They've taken out this support level on a wide spread. Right now, 1200 is where they're going to aim at, almost definitely. This is where you're going to find support. How much have I made today? I'm up nearly 880 today on the account, but I'm aiming to make 1,000 today. That's my target for the day. Make 20% on the account. Because this week has been a super week. I mean, it's been an excellent week for trading, to be fair. There's been opportunities in many of these currency pairs. No, I'm just taking the alerts from Smart Center Pro. I'm not doing the work. I don't need to. I don't have to do the analysis. It's done for me. I just take the trade and manage it. That's it. Will we get to an automated system where I personally don't have to do anything except watch the screen? That's coming. Won't be long. Won't be long. We've got the technology to do it. But, you know, at the moment, you know, the one thing a human being can do is to can see visually where a stop should be, move the stop there. A computer could do it if you programmed it with enough artificial intelligence. But, you know, I don't want to take the enjoyment out of trading. I actually thoroughly enjoy what I do. So it is an enjoyable experience for me. Some people hate it. Some people get stressed. Some people have all sorts of issues with their trading. I have no idea why, personally. Trading can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. I think it's very straightforward, you know, and you can see it in my trading. I don't complicate things. There's no point, right? If Smart Center Pro tells me that there's a downtrend and there's a spike up in volume and there's a red signal, the next bar closes level, there must be supply sellers in that bar. I'm going to take a short trade. And Steve, do you agree? It doesn't have to be complicated when you're trading.
Yeah, keep it simple. Make less trading mistakes that way, and performance.
Yeah, Neil. Yeah, Neil's just asked a question here. One of our long-standing customers: has Smart Center triggered anything on the Euro Japanese yen? Let me have a look. Euro Japanese yen. Let's have a quick look. Must admit, I haven't seen it if it has. Oh my goodness, yes it has. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that, guys. I beg your pardon. Let me just quickly swap over. It has indeed, Neil. I missed it, so I apologise. But yes, it has. Yes, it has. You should be able to see it now. In fact, I don't know if you've got Smart Center Pro, but yeah, it triggered a long trade on the Euro Japanese yen here. Can you all see my screen, by the way? This is a trade. I've missed it. I apologise. I was concentrating on the futures. Fortunately, one of our customers in here is a bit more alert than I am. Yes, Neil, to answer your question, it's triggered the trend. The trade hasn't yet been alerted to, so there could still be a trade here. So I've left-clicked in Smart Center. It's now sniffing out any no supply bars and tests in a rising market. So if that triggers, Neil, I will take a trade. But yes, that is definitely there. Quickly, if I go to the other screen here, you'll see here or it's also just got a trigger on this particular instrument. Just put it up, make sure you can all see it. I'm sure we've still got the short on gold triggered here. Where was it? Oh, there it was. It was the ES again. So you can see down here, ES, and of course here, copper. You can see basically what we've got is trend alignment on the ES. So that's why this gold market has pushed lower, because of what's happening here. Nasdaq's just pushed off a little bit more than the ES has. ES, if we go to the 15-minute chart, has come off a little bit. Sorry, that's silver. Let's go to the ES. There we go. Pushed up a little bit based on this bar right here, which you can clearly see. Let's just get rid of those. We don't need our trigger numbers on here. Let's just get rid of all the triggers for the moment. Okay, now if this bar closes like this next to that bar,
strength has arrived.
Okay, so we've got an alert there on the HG contract. If that there in the next 7 minutes holds like this, that will whack up very, very, very quickly. Okay. Okay, so I just got filled on gold. So you should be able to see that. So there was the fill. It popped, gold popped. I'd already brought my stop down in case that happened. So there we go. Got another fill. That's another $100. That's 280 there on gold. Wonder why gold's popping. Let's have a quick look. Why? Yeah, because there's a little bit of buying coming in on this bar. Let's just see if there's going to be another trade here. So what they've done. Oh, stop it. That's better. That's what I want. So come down here. They've got a little test. They're testing this area here where the climactic, so it's basically they've come down and tested this area here where the buying was. They've marked it up. Now they're whipsawing it. You will get another short here, almost for certain. We will very likely get another short. So they've come down to the almost to the tick to this low, and now they're just whipping it around a bit, ready for another move down. So this could be. This is where I'm seeing. Oh, by the way, we've just had an alert on the Euro Japanese yen long. There's a test on a 1 minute chart for those of you who are following it. It's just come in on Smart Center Pro on the other screen here. Yeah, Lou, the best thing you can do is contact me directly and I'll give you a call. Let me just give you my email address. I'll put it in the chat area here. I'm the only one who can actually give promotional codes out. We don't do them publicly anymore, so you probably have to get in touch with me personally. But it's Gavin H at tradeguider.com. That's my personal email address. Just there. And if you put in there your Skype name and a time to contact you, I'll try and get in touch with you, Lou, and see if I can take care of you, all right? Please just give me a bit of time though, because obviously I'm busy trading and managing the funds and all sorts of stuff. So, but I will contact you if you're interested, no problem. So that's my email address, Lou. Just confirm that you can see it, can you? It's just Gavin H at tradeguider.com. GAVINH at tradeguider.com. But make sure you put your Skype name in or a phone number, and then I can get in touch with you. Right, let's just carry on with what we're seeing here. So basically, at the moment, we've seen gold pop. Got a fill on it. You can see the signals are correct. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with this. That is definitely stopping volume down there. So they're not ready yet. Half an hour till the inauguration. But I think they'll get another. I think we'll get another short here because again, if you mark the low of this high volume bar, okay, this is where I've been taking the trade. So you mark this low. Okay, it's come up. It's hit this. Now, if we come back down and we go, remember I said this earlier. We come back down. And we go up there on no demand, and these are red, and the 1 minute chart, they start to turn red. If that happens, it's another retracement trade, another potential short trade. Yeah, Fabio, yes, yeah, it's private at the moment. It's not public, but yes, in answer to your question. Okay, all right, everyone, let me hand back over to Steve. We've got half an hour to the inauguration. see if anything happens, and we're going to be with you. Well, Steve will be with you as long as he needs to be, but I'm in the background. If I see anything, I shall let you know. Back over to so far today, we've had trades in the currencies, the futures, and obviously their gold is the one that's been giving today. So I'm going to stick with that. That's where we've been making the money. So that's good. So Steve, back over to you.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, getting a little choppy here, and the indexes started to push up and right back down. Not moving a whole lot. Started to respond from that sign of strength down in here. It was 68. Got up to 70, 75, so 2¾ of a point. Just kind of stuck in that range at the moment. Did change behavior a little in the indexes. Something to pay attention to. We may end up down at that 65.5 after all, if this can continue. We're at 93 at the moment, so watching that pretty careful. See if it will hold here at 65.5, 66 level. But as you see, the trading range has been pretty tight. Last hour and a half. Coming in on the close of this bar, they haven't really broken that range of 67, 75, 71. 3.5 points. It's a scalper's paradise. That gold came off nice. It seems to be bouncing pretty good at that 1201. That's crude light. Crude light never looks like it got pretty volatile, but it never broke that high, or it said it was starting to firm up. But back to gold here. 5-minute chart, this is a double bottom, effort to rise, came back down and hit that support. If the S&Ps would have rallied while Gavin was short down here and not fell off, that's what they did, gold would have continued its journey. It's, right now, little change in behavior here. Got to watch that. May start to fire off and get up at 1206. There is that trap in here. Right here. We identified one earlier in the S&Ps at 1202. So we're still watching the market breadth, making sure nothing dramatic happens to the downside here on the S&Ps. Starting to get a pretty decent move here. Watch that 60, if it can break this low of 67.75. We'll probably see 65.5. I'm sure he is. Take the lead. Good stuff, Theo. Watch that risk first, and rewards will take care of itself. VSA, powerful in all markets, but if you're a currency trader, encourage you to follow that trending system. Pretty solid. Currencies are, you know, they weave in and out with supply and demand, but they're extremely trend and technical driven as well. So the combination of the two. It's pretty powerful. Right now, I'm sitting on a fence on crude light, and we'll see what the S&Ps do and how the indexes hold. So I'm firing off here on the Smart Center Pro. I like to take trades right around my key numbers, trigger numbers. That way I can manage my risk accordingly. I want to be able to know where my stop is and where my entry or my exits are before I get in. That way, if I'm risking more than I'm trying to make, I'll have to back off the trade. Switch over to some currencies real quick here, see if we can get down to that 66.5. Gold's got a shakeout on the half hour and the 15. Smart Center Pro says there's a long setup on the Dow. I'm not going to go long Dow right now on the 3 minute. Two-bar reversal to the upside. That's good stuff there. Here's a double bottom, little effort to rise. Here's an accumulation phase right here. Effort to rise, of course, they ran into some problems here, but they just tested this. It's a 3 minute chart. Markets changed behavior. 96 on the Dow. It's a cliffhanger. Look what's going on in the background on the half hour as well. So, talked about that earlier. The half hour is set up. And, shorts would most likely be the favorable opportunity there. And like I said, just monitoring the indexes at the moment. See if some of this talking and get the market to move around some. Take a look at the euro. They've got that on a short radar at the moment, 0685. See where they trapped it in here on the 30, dropped it down. So I have trigger numbers up there. I had them up there before these levels, by the way, before it got hit. That's how powerful they are. Get yourself a trigger number in there and boom, right back down. These numbers have been in here a while. Once you know how to do your trigger numbers and your key numbers thoroughly, you'll be amazed how often it stops at these levels. It gives you some nice principles. That way you have a playing field. You can short it up here with the expectation to go down to here. Now, if I short it here and then put my stop up there, can I manage that risk accordingly? And then it'll give you a good expectation where you can get in to take the trade within that playing field. 5 minute, the Dow is on an uptrend. Or I'm sorry, the 5 minute chart is a sign of strength on the Dow. 97 on the S&Ps. So things are starting to see a theme here. We got a 3 minute chart that just firmed up and a 5 minute chart just firmed up on the Dow. Those are 2 bar. This looks like a 2 bar reversal here. Just keep in mind that there is a shakeout in the background, or upthrust. If I stand on my head, it's a shakeout. The S&P is a bit choppy. NASDAQ still sitting at 62.75. Philip Morris says go long. On the 2 minute, I'm not going to trade a 2 minute chart on a stock, but swing trader on stocks, or hold it a day or two, a week or months. 95 on the Dow. Gold's at 1203. Just kind of chopping here. I watched some of that concert last night on the inauguration. One of my best friends' music was played on there at the inauguration with Robbie drums. She was singing over. They make songs together and all kinds of commercials and things. Yeah, her vocals and some of her music ended up in the inauguration this year. It was kind of cool. A little push here at 98. Yeah, good stuff, James. It's a good energy. Thanks for the heads up on that. Yeah, he plays a lot around. Did the Super Bowl a while back. Yeah, when I was watching it, it kind of faded out and it came back in a lot. Expect gold to pop out of here based on the half-hour chart. And here's a great example of gold on the half-hour charts doing a shakeout. Look at the Dow. Half-hour chart's got an upthrust. It's exactly what I'm talking about, inverse. So every time the market started firming up, Gavin was seeing short signals on the gold on the smaller time frames and taking advantage of that. Right now it's sitting on a fence, although you see the stocks have just changed behavior. So I'd be a little leery about trying to take a long on this still because the S&Ps are still starting to firm up still. Just keep those correlations in mind and it'll keep you out of the chop. But yeah, keep trading simple. Try to overcomplicate things. Stake signals, manage the risk, take your profits or exit accordingly. Uh, 97 on the Dow. So 5 minutes says, yeah, it's going higher. It'd be 69.75. If it hits that, you would expect it to try to push above 70.75 with a widespread up bar. Let's go to the pound here. Smart Center Pro's tapping away, looking for some sweet spot setups that I like. And again, I like to take trades right around the triggers and based on market sentiment as well. That 23.71, excellent area for shorts. Even down in here, 23.40. Talked about that earlier. There was a bit of a trap. It trapped it twice. It stopped at that second trap. So, any signs of weakness in there, if the indexes can get off the ball here, they're kind of spinning their wheels. it's a good workout, I guess. You get those things that slide on your feet. And, do like push-ups, not push-ups, but push your feet like you're climbing up a wall.
Steve, just to let you know, also long at the moment, Euro Japanese yen triggered. We've got no supply on the 5-minute chart and also the 1-minute chart, just to let you know.
Good stuff. Some currencies are moving around pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking for that short up there at 23.71. We're along at 22.48. See if they'll come revisit these levels. There's a creek down in here. Talked about that earlier as well. If the S&Ps can push here, USB might pay today. Let's take a look at gold again. Be a little leery about this breakout to 1206. Dow's up 100 now.
Yeah, Steve, just so you know what I'm seeing, I mean, looking at the Dow, it's not responding to the weakness, which means it's bullish. I would strongly suspect you're going to get a breakout in the Dow and a collapse in gold is what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm still ready for another short on gold, by the way. I'm looking at a short around the 1202.7, moving down to 1198. And if it gets down, well, it's stuck in no man's land at the moment as we do the as we're watching it. But the yeah, Japanese yen and the euro was actually the alert that Neil pointed out, one of our customers in the room. And yeah, that triggered, which I'll show you shortly. But again, just looking at this at the moment, the gold one is very difficult to read because it's on 1 minute it's trying to push up and then it's immediately someone selling into it. There's definitely sellers in the background who don't want gold to push up at the moment. So I can say if it breaks 1202, which is the bottom of the high volume bar, then you want to be looking for shorts around the 1202 level on no demand if we can see it. That's what I'd be looking for. ES, looking at what you're looking at, yeah, it's responding to testing. There's just no selling pressure in it. There's no selling pressure at the moment at all, which is interesting.
Yeah, stocks are revving up a little as well. Yeah, I think so. You got that double top in here with the trap. It breaks that 1202. Probably see 1200 to 1198. 1200's been pretty solid this morning. Yeah. Something to consider.
I'll just quickly take the screen if I can, Steve, just to show this
sure.
Euro yen. Can everyone see my screen here? Okay, so here is the 5-minute trigger. It came up on the 1 minute as well in Smart Center Pro. You can see it here. This is actually a trade alert. So this is actually a trade setup. This is what it looks like in Smart Center Pro. Just make sure everyone can see the screen. Can you see the screen there, Steve?
I see you waiting for organizer. You have to switch over.
Try
there you go.
Yeah, okay. So here we have the no supply bar. All right, got a little bit of no demand that's just come in here. Not a big concern. But there is the alert. Okay, and it was on a 1 minute chart and it's moved up. Well, you could have taken some profit up here. If we get a test in here, that'll push up higher. Keep in mind, though, it's Friday, not absolutely brilliant. But nevertheless, there is the alert. And that's what it looks like on the screen. Everything's green. All right, and here was the test. That was the test that came in, what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes ago, as it pushed up from there. So I could have entered a lot lower, actually. I was very late to that one. But Neil pointed it out, one of our customers. So thank you, Neil, for that. Going back to the futures. So that's the only Forex trade that we've had on Smart Center Pro at the moment that I can see. Very quiet at the moment. And on the Dow and the NASDAQ, again, and the ES, all looking pretty similar, really. Just weakness has appeared, and you can see it sort of moved sideways. ES, similar thing. You've got testing, it's pushing up. Just not doing very much into the inauguration, really. Just not really doing very much at all at the moment. So anyway, I'll leave this with you now, Steve, because I've got to make a move. I've got a meeting with AJ. So I'll hand the room over to you, Steve. I'm going to still keep the recording. Are you recording this as well, Steve? Have you got the recording?
I will now.
Okay, yeah. If you take the recording from now, that'd be great. And hope everyone's enjoyed it. And I'm going to go and have a look at the inauguration now, see what happens. And as I say, today been a very good day, despite the fact that the markets have sort of whipped around a little bit. We've had some great trades in gold, as we've seen, still potentially setting up, and we've had some wonderful trades in the currencies. The British pound this morning was a really good trade, one of my best trades this week, in fact, for very little risk as well. Just traded the one contract in the pound, and sorry, two lots in the pound, beg your pardon, and the whole thing just moved lower throughout the day. So it was a nice trade. I'll see you all next week. For those of you that are Trading the Markets members, for those of you who are interested in Smart Center Pro, if you're a customer, we do have some special pricing. Just email me directly. I'm the only one who can deal with it. There's no one else in the organisation that will be able to do that apart from Danny Eunice. He's the other person that can deal with that as well. So with that, I'll hand over to you, Steve, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Take care. And this time in 15, 20 minutes, Donald Trump will be president. So it's going to be an interesting year. Take care, everyone. God bless. Have a great weekend. Back over to you, Steve.
Thanks for that, Gavin. Good trading. Good stuff. I hope you have an excellent weekend. Watch this through and see what happens here. See if they'll push it or just chop it. Right now, as you see, we're kind of caught in the chop. Put things in perspective. Take that off. I don't know how I did that.